to make things better in your life, but for some reason you're not getting
Hey,
nowhere.
y'all.
But I want you to turn to the one next to you and
Good
tell them,
evening. Come on in.
you tried your way, it didn't work, no. You put him second, then put you first.
Good evening. Come on in. Come on in.
You trusted friends, thought they had you
Welcome to
covered.
Wisdom Wednesday. Go ahead, if you don't mind, to share, tag somebody under. They may not be able to pop on right now because of other obligations, but they can go back and watch the live.
No, I'm not gonna lie. It's okay to
Hello
cry.
to those of you who are coming on. Welcome to Wisdom Wednesday.
I know you don't want to hear it.
Welcome, welcome. I hope that you've had a great week thus far. It is Wednesday. Y'all can y'all believe next week will be the middle of the month, right? This year is going by very fast. This year is going by very, very fast already. There's been a lot of tumultuous things that have happened coming into this year. A lot of different uh, things that are happening. Um, Sometimes can like seem like a movie because we're not used to a lot of these things that's happening around us or in the world. But I will encourage you to tell you to just stay focused, stay prayed up, and stay prepared, right? Stay focused, stay prayed up, and stay prepared, right? This is the time where literally you have to be on your game. You have to be on point. You can't allow or let some of these things that are going around um, now hinder you, distract you, get you off course, have you being depressed because we thought the pandemic for a lot of people was something, right? Um, there's so much, um, and so many people are going through mental things, stuff affecting their mind. And although that's not what I come to talk about on this evening, I just wanted to begin with that. Know that you're not alone. Always know that there's help. There's help. Even when you think there's no help, there is. You just have to reach out to a safe space. Okay. And I always say that because everybody is not safe. You got to make sure that you're not running and disclosing and trusting and confiding in people that you're not confiding in solo, meaning they're going to tell somebody and tell somebody and tell somebody, and that can cause a lot of trauma. That can cause a lot of unforgiveness. That can cause a lot of different things. But there are people that are safe spaces, and you need to find that person, that individual, so that you can get some of the help or some of the encouragement or the prayers. People, you may need someone to intercede on your behalf and touch and agree with you on some things. So everybody is not a safe space. So I want you to really, 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 really believe that. I don't care if it's family members, people that you've been knowing for so long. Sometimes those people, they're not safe spaces. Sometimes people love to find out your business so they can be messy, and that'll cause the individual who's confiding in someone else, that cause them to be in a dark place. So I don't want you to go into those dark spaces. There's too much darkness around, and God is the light of the world that we know. But when people are pained by other people, or people are hurt by someone that they trust, it can cause people to go down a dark path. But know that there are trustworthy, loyal people, persons that you can confide in without having to worry about if that person is going to tell someone else. Okay, so do know that. um but I will encourage you to don't be be a victim in your situations. Okay, there are many people we've been through many things. You can't be a victim. You got to be a survivor. Okay, move from being a victim to a survivor. Don't allow different traumatic things that may have happened to you, and this is not what I came to talk about, but cause you to be victim, and causes you to be stagnant in the place where you're in a dark place and you don't move because you keep focusing on what happened and what someone has done and how you can't, get past the past because you can. Okay, because you can. But good evening to those of you who are just coming on. Good evening. I just want to, for this Wisdom Wednesday, just to encourage you, like always, give you some nuggets. Um, Maybe share some ahas. Maybe provide you with some words that'll cause you to grow, want to do better, want to change, for you, want to evolve for you. And in order for us to be able to grow, we have to act. We just have to want to do better. And as I always say, we got to want to put in the work. Things cannot be done if we don't do the work. We just that's just what it is. Okay, we can't want things to be happen so quickly, and it's happening for her, it's happening so here so fast, so this, so that. But are you doing what he or she has done? Have you put in the work that he or she has done? But the topic this evening is don't you start. Okay? Don't you start. And there's a whole lot I want to unpack in this short amount of time that I'm going to be up here. But this is a year, and it's time for some of you that may come on, to figure out who you are. Where are you trying to go? What are you purposed to do? Right? Have you took the time to ask yourself those things? Because what is happening is, and what has been happening is, you're looking at other people, how it look like they may have it easy, or whatever the case may be, and you start downing yourself. You start being a victim to, well, this happened, well, that person may have had this and they this, that, and the other. And you do that year by year. Every year it's the same thing, right? Or you're wondering why, when you try to mimic or copy or infiltrate what someone else is doing, why the things are not happening for you, or the support for you, or whatever you may be looking for you, that you may see in other individuals. You may see it with him or her. And then you start speaking, let's just say, a little rough. You start, especially those of you that are believers, you start putting stupid stuff on your social media. You start blaming everybody else. You start reverting back to some of yourself, because sometimes, listen, you can fool people, right? But you can't fool God. You can fool people by being changed and all of these other things. When it comes to, you're growing and you're doing this and you walking in your purpose, you can fool people, but you can't fool God. So when you don't get the response from the people that you want, or from the person that you want, then it's everything else. But really, sometimes it's us. So I titled this "Don't You Start," because don't you start blaming people for where you are when it's really you. Don't you start when you know that God's told you to do another thing, but you see what Sister Susie doing, you see what Key doing, you see what Billy and Thomas doing, and Jamal, and you're trying to do those things, and that ain't what he told you to do. It looked good on them, right? It looks like, oh, well, I can get this, or I can do this over here. Then people so you try to do it when God did not tell you to do it. And the only reason why you keep going in the circle, the only reason why it keeps feeling like the doors are closing on you, the only reason why it keeps feeling like you're losing, is because you're in an area, you're focused on things, you're trying to be something that you're not, you're trying to be in places that you're not supposed to be, you're trying to connected individuals you're not supposed to be connected to. You're trying to do things that the Lord didn't tell you to do. You're trying to apply for an application, a job. You know you don't have the credentials or anything to do it, and God didn't tell you to do it. Don't you start blaming others for where you are, because at the end of the time, it starts with us. It's nobody's fault that you're not further than where you need to be. Ain't nobody tell you to put all your trust in somebody else and then they fail you and then woe was you. Ain't nobody tell you to continue to have these children that you can't take care of anyway, but you think that you can buy love from a man or from a woman, so you keep producing and having children. But then when he goes or when she goes, and then you woe was you. Don't you start blaming other people for where you are. If you want to blame somebody, we got to start with ourselves. And you know, it's so easy for us to blame other people because it's easier, because we don't want to put it back on us. About a year or so ago, I did an event called Me Versus Me. And oftentimes, as people, we don't want to face ourselves. We don't want to look at the junk, the things that we need to take out and remove. Being a woman, I ain't talking about a girl, being a woman, the most disheartening thing that I often see, especially on this social media, is these young girls and these women not knowing who they are. They get on social media. They are, mind you, let me tell you something. You can still look good without revealing so much. You can still do your thing and be who you're supposed to be without revealing so much. Because let me tell you something, how you carry yourself, and it's always going to be, you going to have a world where we are. You know what I'm saying? But if you carry yourself in a certain way, that's the type of people you're going to attract, whether it's a male or it's a woman. So if you're going around acting ignorant, always in drama or mess, stuff always going on, talking out of the left side of your mouth all the time, acting like you don't have any type of education, and you every time you're talking is always a cuss word. Mind you, yeah, I don't curse. Okay, there are many people that do. I just don't. Right? But even if I did, my language that I would use would not always be, because sometimes individuals think cursing, and I'm just using that right now, that's, how can I say it? That's a thing that gets your point across more than, you know, intuition's on, like I said, but it's not. I can get whatever I got to get across, how I need to get it across, with other means besides, and then these children be mimicking like us what they may hear. Whether if it's words that we may say, whether this is going to school trying to be fighting and acting some type of way, and then we wondering why people may be looking or saying or thinking, well, look at the mama, well, look at the daddy, well, this and that. And sometimes y'all be thinking that stuff is cute, but it's not cute. It's not. It's not cute. But let me reflect back when I say, don't you start blaming people for where you may be. Listen, we're at a time where if you want people to treat you a certain way, you need to act a certain way. Like literally. If you want to get respect from people, you definitely got to earn it. If you don't show people that you don't love yourself when you're in relationships and friendships or whatever else, they ain't going to give you what you deserve. And many of you that may be watching me right now, you deserve so much more than you think. But don't you start blaming everybody else for where you are, where you're not. How come this? How come everybody else got that? Listen, let me tell you something. Can't no man, no woman, no job, no title, no degree. All of that can fill the void that you may have, that you can't keep blaming others for why you don't, or why you're not in the same, in a certain predicament, or why it's going for them, doing for them, and not for it's not. We all, life gon' life. There's always situations, but let me tell you something. We got too many grown men and women that are not in the space where they need to be, because they keep either waddling in the same mess, or the same cycles, or the same things. They keep going in places they shouldn't go. They're connected to people that need to be disconnected to, whatever the case may be. And you're going to go in the same cycles, being insane for the days to come, for years, until you realize that it starts with you and what you need to do. It's not the time nor the hour for you to be pointing the fingers at everybody else. What I am encouraging you to do is get it together as best as you can. It's a journey. It takes time. It still takes time. Listen, it's still every day is a new start for me to do better than I did on yesterday. Every day is a day for me to try to find areas where I can improve. Nobody has arrived. I have not, let me tell you, arrived. But one thing I will not do is play victim and blame other people for where I am and where I'm not. I won't do it. I have to take accountability. And that's the problem. If you don't take accountability of things you can control, then you're going to be mad with everybody else when you should be mad at yourself. You should be mad at yourself. That's why I am a stickler and determined, because my purpose to help people that want to be helped. I am not going to carry and hold your hand if you don't want to do the work. I will not do it. That is not my job. My job is to provide you with the tools to help you grow. But I will not deal with wayward you say you want it, but you really don't. Because there's other people who do want it, and my time is very important. And if you don't want it, and if you showing me, you saying 1 minute out your mouth, but the next minute you're talking different, you're posting different, you're this way and that way, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to waste my time. So I encourage you, if you are dealing with individuals that's supposed to be helping you, and they ain't helping you, they're helping you stay in the mess that you are in, you need to find you some other people or another circle to be around. If you're in situations and nobody you connected to is always about them, and they can't see what stuff going on with you, or whatever the case may be, you need to find you another circle or another person to be around, because you are your own worst enemy. You are the person that's keeping yourself where you are. And it does not matter how long you may have been in ministry, how many degrees you may have, how a title, how much money you may have. If you don't start with you, getting you together, then you're going to be in the same place, doing the same thing, the same way, until. So I know this might be a little rough. It's all right. I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything. I'm not trying to get no whole lot of followers and this, that. I just want to help, because there's so many people that's dying, this mental, that are in the same space, that are taking their lives, that are in despair, they're in darkness, because don't nobody want to tell them the truth. Don't nobody want to help. They say they want to help, but really they don't want to help. They'll get their money into people the same way they was before. And it's not all about money. I want to really help the people. I don't get on Wisdom Wednesdays when I do, and I've been doing this for over 4 years. They get up here just so y'all can look at me, just to be thinking I'm cute or whatever the case some of you may say, and all of that. No, I get up here because it's my passion, it's my purpose, it's my assignment. But what I will not do is do it for you. I will not do it for you. Ain't nobody do it for me, and they ain't doing it for me. I have had to make the choice to do better, want better, and pursue. So no, I'm not going to support no flukiness. No, I'm not going to be the one to just be like, baby, it's going to be all right. Let's get up and water down with you while you down. No, you can cry a little bit, but we're going to get up. You're going to do. But if you don't take that initiative to do for yourself, I am not going to do it for you. So I just come out tonight to tell you, please, don't you start. Don't you start playing the blame game. Don't you start saying you're not going to be enough, or I just, this, that, and the other. Don't you start. Where can you improve? Where can you do better? What do you need to do so you can grow in an area that you know that you're weak in, or that you continue to fail in? What do you need to do? Because nobody else is going to fill that void for you. You trust in others so much. When you're going to start trusting in yourself? And I'm not talking about trusting and connecting to this person, connecting to that person, trying to get in that person because that make you, because that person, everybody like them or anybody around and this. So you start trying to, I ain't never seen a bunch. Listen, and it's so, it's so many people, grown people, that really don't know who they are and would do anything just to get that sense of belonging. And it's not a good look. I don't care if you got to stand on your own. I say this all the time. Listen, majority of the time that you may see me, I will be majority of the time by myself, not unless I'm with my children or my grandchildren or my family. Some of you got to be around people a lot, be on the phone all the time. And a lot of times you're on the phone, anyway, I'm stay away from that. You got 24 hours in a day. We all do. What are you doing with your 24 hours? If you were not being productive in your 24 hours, don't you start blaming other people. If you are not working on goals in your 24 hours, don't you start blaming other people. If you're not, when you at work, you always, every time you turn around, you're logging on social media, you're trying to see what's going on, you're responding, you're doing this and that and the other. You're on social media every day more than you are working on you and working on your goals. Don't you start blaming other people when it seems like some of the people you may be connected with or is gone somewhere, or they may want to disconnect with you because of whatever. And then you at this, don't you start blaming other people. Look at you. What have you or have you not done that you were supposed to do? What have you done and have not fixed that you were supposed to do? When is the last time that you really sat down with yourself and said, listen, I can't continue doing this because I keep doing this, keep happening. And, a lot of times I want to say, it's the devil, it's the devil, it's the devil. No, baby, it ain't the devil, it's you. It's your disobedience. It's you trying to walk and drive and in everybody else's court and do it, and you're not supposed to. It's you that you were told to do something and you didn't do. You did what you wanted to do. You took bits and pieces of the instruction, but in the end, you did what you're supposed to do. Don't you start in this hour playing the blame game or the victim game when you need to ask yourself, have you literally put in the work? Have you done the things that you were supposed to do so that you can get the start that you needed? Have you literally, have I sat and look at where I was then and see if I have changed now? Go through those check boxes when it deals with yourself. And then put in a plan, okay, to improve, to grow, to do better, so that you won't be looking and doing the same thing next year, next month, in the next few weeks, because you may have children. Even if you don't have any children, you still need to make sure that you're doing and where you're supposed to be mentally, physically, emotionally, socially. Okay. I hope that I've said something this evening that has blessed you, that has caused you to think. Not worried about what nobody else thinks, because that's another thing. Some of you worry about too much what others going to be thinking, what others going to say. Who cares? Who cares? Stop worrying about other people, what other people think, what they going to say, how they going to feel. What do you think? What do you say? How do you feel? Hopefully, this has been an aha moment live for you, moment of Wisdom Wednesday for you. You can go back and watch the replay. Know that I love you. I say these things in love. I say these things because let me tell you something. It's hard when you got to look and you got to see. It's hard. You understand? It's hard. But I want to help. I'm not one of those ones. I want to see everybody win. I really do. And you can win. If you learn and you get in a place of focus on what you need to do, what you're called to do, what you're purposed to do, and not doing the same cycles, being in the same places, not blaming everybody else, and not playing victim. It's time out. It's time, when we know better, we do better. God bless you. Praying for those playing, listen, just praying in general, because let me tell you something, it's definitely a praying time. I hope to see you next Wednesday on Wisdom Wednesday. Please share this live, tag somebody, because you never know when it will bless somebody else's life. And I will see you next time, Lord's will.